Welcome, everybody, back to the Fretboard Journal Podcast. That's John Rauhaus playing our intro music, and I am Jason Verlinde, your host and the publisher of the Fretboard Journal magazine. So, before we begin, a question. How many of you out there have World Cup fever? I'll be honest, I don't. Or at least I didn't until I talked to today's guest, Ryan Salm. Ryan is an acclaimed photographer and documentary filmmaker. Over the years, he's worked for the likes of Patagonia, Vogue, ESPN, the Surfer's Journal, Mountain Gazette, and he's about to start working for us here at the Fretboard Journal with our print magazine. Ryan is also a musician and soccer aficionado, and for the last several World Cups, he bridged those two passions to get out there, play music, meet strangers, and have fun. Ryan's band, the Hometown String Band, tours literally every 4 years, only at World Cup sites. They have no agenda. They barely have a set list. They don't have any pre-planned gigs. They bring their instruments to wherever the World Cup is taking place. They start playing music. They say yes to whatever opportunities arise. They befriend strangers from literally around the world, and they have a lot of fun. Now, the cool thing is they don't do this for Instagram likes or to make a killer TikTok. It's literally just a group of friends getting out of the house, playing some music, and seeing some soccer. It's a story unlike any I've shared before, and I hope you like it. Now, with the World Cup being in our proverbial North American backyard this year, Ryan is inviting you all to join in with him and his band. Play a song, sing a song, say hello, or if you really want to be his best friend, help him find a place to park the school bus the Hometown String Band just converted just for the hell of it. Our podcast is brought to you today by Seattle's own Mike and Mike's Guitar Bar, one of the best vintage instrument stores in the country, and by Peghead Nation, where you can get your first month free on their incredible lesson site by using the discount code FRETBOARD. They've got you covered if you want to be a better guitarist, mandolin player, or banjo player. Tell them the Fretboard Journal sent you. And since this episode is all about getting out of the house and finding community, a reminder, our 2026 Fretboard Summit is just a couple of months away in Chicago. The dates are August 20th to 22nd. You can register right now at fretboardsummit.org. And I promise you, if you attend, you will meet some new friends. Now, here is my chat with Ryan Salm of the Hometown String Band. I've included links to their site in the description if you want to get out there or track their whereabouts or say hello. I hope you enjoy this week's episode. It is a fun one. Ryan Salm, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
You are an acclaimed photographer and documentary filmmaker, but I see guitars in the background, so I know there's a music story here, and we're going to kind of peel back the layers and hear this tale.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, quick hit of background. I grew up in New York, had a sliding glass door in the basement. Me and my brother lived down there, and my parents are always really chill about us doing stuff. We were always moderately decent kids. And I spent a lot of my high school and even middle school days heading into New York City and seeing music. So my brother kind of had the record and CD collection. Kind of turned me on to stuff. And I was kind of like a product of grunge and 90s hip hop. And I had a buddy who moved to, I went to a private school, and there was a Ukrainian kid that moved to school named Bo. And his family lived in the East Village. So I used to take off every Thursday and go in the city, and we'd see, every band known, everything you've ever heard of in the 90s, we used to go see. So a huge music background. My brother's in the music industry. I have a cousin who worked at Geffen Records back in the day, and I interned over at Geffen Records. So there's a lot of music in the family. So
what were the top three of those shows in New York City you got to see?
Top three, I think it was 89 or 90. I saw Guns N' Roses at Madison Square Garden before I had a driver's license.
Okay, perfect.
It was kind of Almost Famous style, where a friend's mom dropped us off and, got ripped off buying T-shirts at the end of the show. And Axl came out of the ceiling playing his piano. And I think Soundgarden opened. So it was incredible. A lot of them were at Madison Square Garden. I saw Rage Against the Machine in the 90s at Roseland in New York City, which is, I don't think they have shows there anymore. And then my first show was Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA tour with my parents. So all kind of, I kind of like got turned on to it pretty young. My parents weren't huge music buffs, but me and my brother were big into it. And just, he works for a music publishing company, so he's big into music. And yeah, just kind of brought me through the early days of, being a teenager and a middle schooler and all that stuff, and into college. And then in college, I moved to Boulder, Colorado, and just the whole world changed, turned more into like the hippie music, and then like jam music, and also like jazz. And, I wasn't a Grateful Dead fan. I saw the Grateful Dead in high school, but I wasn't a huge fan. But then like everyone in Boulder liked them. So I just kind of, opened my horizons, and I just kind of, these days I just like all kinds of music. And I live in Tahoe. We have a huge music community here. I photograph a bunch of music at one of our venues, and I shoot a lot of the big events here, but then also lots of jams at the house. And that's how this story kind of starts. I used to live at this A-frame everyone dubbed it the A-frame, and it ended up being like the centerpiece for like jam nights and like parties, and like a lot of like local bands kind of came out of the house, and grew from there. And we all started jamming tunes, and I wasn't a huge musician at the time, played the harmonica, and over time I learned to play the guitar and still play the harmonica and sing. And, the crew that is going to the World Cup, we all know each other from, well, not all of us, but a bunch of us know each other from those early A-frame days, and playing tunes to the early morning, and just like kind of passing songs along campfire style. But like we had this like sunken fire pit, and we all used to sit around that, and, someone would come up with a song or play a cover song or whatever. And it kind of got passed on. And then these days, I being a harmonica player, I sit in with a lot of people and around town, just like, hey, what are you doing on Friday? You want to come play a couple songs? And then I have a band here called the Inappropriators, which is like, we play like dirty music. We would write all our own songs.
Dirty music, like inappropriate music?
Inappropriate music, okay. Yeah. It's kind of like almost inappropriate with a moral at the end. Okay. So like it might start off like, what is this guy talking about? And at the end, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty funny. And he got his. So. And yeah, we have an album coming out sometime next month. I don't know the date yet, but we have an album. It's really entertaining. So we write all our own tunes. But besides that, this World Cup thing grew out of just a bunch of friends kind of playing tunes together. Yeah.
So to cut to the chase, a mutual friend of ours said, there's this guy, Ryan. He's an incredible photographer, and he's about to, with a band in a converted school bus, go follow the World Cup. That was kind of the gist of it, the elevator pitch. And I'm like, what? Yeah. So here we are. Home Team String Band is the name of the band. Explain how this all started and what you've been doing with this.
For sure. I'll try and do the quickest version I can here. But in 2010, living here in Tahoe, World Cup was in South Africa. I travel a ton. My favorite thing in the world to do is travel the world. And kind of was like, I kind of want to go to the World Cup. I had gone in 94 to one game when it was in the US back in the day. I grew up playing soccer. And being a big traveler, I just really try to look for things that bring people together. Like we live in a crazy world. Everyone's kind of a lot of division, a lot of this, but like when you travel, you kind of, whether you have a backpack or a rolling duffel or whatever you have, you go to these places and you're kind of at the mercy of the people around you. You're kind of hoping for positivity. You're hoping that, and at least in my case, I travel pretty rootsy. I'm hoping people take me in. I put myself in a situation where people can take me in, and I can, I talk to everybody. I try to meet travelers. I meet locals. And the hope is that you get experiences and you gain experiences from your travels. And that's happened to me everywhere I've traveled. And in 2010, I was like, wanted to go somewhere. I want to go to the World Cup. And I hit up a couple buddies that didn't know each other, Dan Hurley and Paul Raymore. And I was like, at different times, I was like, either you guys want to go to the World Cup? And they both said yes. So I introduced them to each other, and they agreed to meet me. I started that trip in Ethiopia, spent 2 months in Ethiopia, and spent the next few months traveling from Ethiopia down to South Africa for the World Cup. Wow. And on the road to the World Cup in Malawi and also in Mozambique, I met other travelers, and I kept running into the same guys. And in Malawi, we decided to form like a little soccer team. Okay. And play local communities. And we called ourselves Mzungu United, which is like white guy united, Okay. And we ended up all hanging out for way longer because Malawi was pretty chill compared to some of the other African nations we were in. And we just ended up playing all the different villages. And it was just this awesome time. And then on my way through down to South Africa, I kept running into them. And we all made plans to meet up at the World Cup. Some of those guys are on the team now, the home team, and some of them aren't. But I met up with Paul down in Swaziland, and we went to a music festival. And one of the guys I met in that same area, in Malawi, was named Jeremiah. He also came to Swaziland. So we had 3 people. All those 3 people are now on the home team string band. When I got to South Africa, I met up with Dan Hurley, who actually lives a couple of doors down, and he's kind of the orchestrator of our band. He's the best musician. He kind of knows every song. He's a human jukebox. And me, Paul, and Dan got a rental car and started going to games. And at the USA-England match, after the game, or actually it was just before the game, we paint people's faces at the game. You know, you get a flag, whatever you want. We're patriotic, but not patriotic to a point of like making nauseous. We're just like trying to have fun, you know?
Sure.
And this guy, Pete, showed up and he's like, hey, we got friends in Tahoe. And we were like, oh, cool. And then we had one more seat in our car and we hit it off with him. We're like, do you want to get in the car? So now we had me, Pete, Paul, and Dan in this tiny little, it looked like a Volkswagen Cabriolet.
Okay.
And we drove around for a month. We just literally picked him up. He got in our car and we drove around for a month. And me and Dan had guitars and harmonicas and we started just like writing funny songs about our journey, like anything from like drinking too much whiskey to a song about one of the guys in the World Cup who scored a goal, or somebody like one of the English goalkeepers let in a really shitty goal against the US and we ended up moving on because of it. And we made a song about him called Butterfingers Green. And we just started writing funny songs and just basically entertaining ourselves. And then finally we were like, got enough confidence that we started playing. Like we stop at a hostel, we'd stop at a restaurant, we just get up and play. So that happened. We went to the World Cup and we also met a guy named Trevor. So we kept meeting all these different people. Okay.
And no internet, just random people you're bumping into.
Just all people we bumped into. Okay. And then in 2014, the World Cup was in Brazil, and a lot of our friends at home had heard about this trip we had just been on, and people were like, we want to go. So we added a few more people. And then we also had the guy Trevor and the guy Jeremiah we met in South Africa, who were like, Trevor ends up being like, hey, I'm going to move to Tahoe. And Jeremiah, he's an LA guy, and he's like, I want in. So we go to Brazil together, and our team of what started off as 3 in South Africa ends up becoming, I think, 7 in Brazil. And the coolest thing about that is we added Kurt Beckering, who plays banjo and guitar, great songwriter. And he ended up bringing this travel banjo. I think it was like a Deering travel banjo, and it had a white kind of, whatever the thing's called.
Skin.
Yeah. And he drew a soccer ball on it. And so it was like, became the soccer ball banjo, kind of became our mascot. And then a guy named Martin Cavada, who was another one of my best buddies here, he plays the cajon, he came. And then a couple guys brought shakers. And then, and all of a sudden we kind of had like almost like a 5-piece. And we went to Brazil. This time we rented 2 cars and we just drove around. And this time we were kind of on it. We were like, we're playing music, and we played everywhere. We'd play like, we'd stop, like if we were waiting for the bus, we bust out the instruments and played everybody. And then, we'd try to learn a couple words in Portuguese so we could sing like something that people would understand. And then, we ended up going to a USA game in Manaus up in the Amazon jungle. And we ended up doing like a jungle tour before. And so we're playing to like these jungle tribes and like making also funny videos the whole time. And on the way out, we had tickets. We were going to go from the Amazon jungle straight to the stadium where the US was playing Portugal up in Manaus. And so we end up in a dugout canoe with a motor, and we're on there, we're jamming we're in it. We're like, we're drinking cachaça, getting like a nice friendly buzz, and we're like playing music on the boat. And we have no idea we kind of fly by the seat of our pants. We don't really know. We like not knowing what tomorrow brings.
Sure.
So we they drop us off at the port in Manaus, and we are like, we're on these things. These are our sweatcitos. They say home.
Oh yeah. You guys have uniforms. Yeah.
Yeah. We have uniforms, and they say like our names in the language of the countries we're in. So we transcribe them into that. And, sorry, that moved a little bit. And, so we get off and we're sweating bullets, 'cause it's like 300 degrees in Brazil. And we go to the game playing music the whole way and straight into the stadium. And so that's kind of our vibe, is like, we're like a walking street band. We're not like the best band, but we are having fun, and everybody's welcome to join us. If you're from the foreign country, if you want to so we just kind of keep that going on. And then after that, we end up going to Russia. US didn't even make it. We decided to go anyway. And to make a long story short, we end up being the band on the bar car, the house band on the bar car on the Trans-Siberian Railroad. And we ride the rails from St. Petersburg all the way to Lake Baikal, which is like halfway across the earth. And we're playing every night, vodka to the max. We're playing with like Russian war generals. Everybody's singing songs. Everyone's passing around. And it turns out we have like the most, we were worried about going because we wanted to see the US play and they weren't in it. And it turns out our trip was like our band on the Trans-Siberian Railroad. And, like Wind of Change was like the song that every Russian wanted to play. So we played it like 700 times. And then right after that, Russia's at war with the Ukraine. And it ends up being this crazy thing where we're like, holy shit, like, when you read the press, everybody's like down on the Russian military, but like some of our best friends in the country were like Russian military guys. And it just like led us to believe that, like, we all know you can't judge a book by its cover, but like, everyone's just like human beings, and we're all just, going to see our families or trying to have a good time or trying to have a shot of vodka. And like when someone busts out a guitar, everyone wants to play. And it just like really put a soft spot in our heart. Cause like, one of these Russian guys that was like, he was all decked out in war gear when we met him, a younger guy, sickest beatboxer you'll ever meet. I mean, we started playing we have this hip hop song. He starts beatboxing and it's just like absolutely nasty. And the whole time they're at war with Ukraine. And we're like, man, I hope that guy's okay. Like everyone's down obviously on Russia at the time, and rightfully so. But like also we're like, dude, there's human beings that probably have no interest in fighting these wars. They just want to like hang out with Americans on a car. So that all happened and it was epic, and we played tunes. And at that one, we're playing just anywhere. We bust into a bar after a game, and we just get them to turn the house music off, play a song, and then leave, and it's just like, we were like, what is going on, And so next we go to Qatar, and Qatar also terrible press, they're building stadiums on the bones of migrant workers. It's terrible. Obviously we don't like it, but we're also like, hey, our goal here isn't to bring bad press. Our goal is to show that, like, the World Cup is a tournament of nations coming together. And if we're not looking at it at its essence, then what are we doing? That is ultimately what it is. And once you carve away and peel away all the bullshit, and there's a ton of it, that's what it is. Like, you get to hang out with, like, people from Senegal. You get to hang out with people from, Haiti. You get to hang out with Russians. You get to hang out with, any nation. And like, how often do you actually get to tell your story and hear other people's story? And what better way to do it than through songs? So it's basically like, we want to hang out with you. We want to play songs with you. When we came to your country, you treated us amazing. And when you come to our country, like, there's a lot of shit going on about how we're not treating people very, very well right now. So our goal as the home team string band, this is the first time we will be the home team, because we've been actually the away team, even though we call ourselves the home team in all these other nations. And the goal is to like show a little love and a little like, brotherhood or sisterhood. When we were in Qatar, like, there was no booze, and not that we're like, blasting booze all the time, but it's fun to drink and go see a soccer game. But we were worried about that. But then turns out that like we just played songs, and we ended up playing. We would like go to eat Afghani food, sitting on the floor, eating with our hands. And then while we're waiting for the food, there's all these people in burqas, and we would just get up and just like play We're an American Band or like whatever song we decided to play. And we're just like having the time of our lives. We get on the subway and it's all guys and sheiks. Like, there's sheiks with their whole outfits on, and the women in burqas, and they're all around us. It's like a sea of white with robes. And we're like in the middle, packed train cars, and just like playing music to people that have no idea what's about to happen, and the smiles that we're getting. So it doesn't really matter how good it is. It's just like kind of joy spread through music. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. And this year, being the home team, we decided, we had a hard time figuring out what we want to do, because it's way more fun for us to go travel abroad for this. And we were trying to figure out back and forth what we're going to do. And we vote on a lot of things. And one guy was like, let's try to relive the old, like, Further Grateful Dead days and buy a school bus and go drive around. And I was just like, oh, this is a terrible idea. It's going to break down. And then we were like, you know what, if we break down, we'll just play us, we'll just play to the guy who picks us up with the tow truck, or, like, we'll find places to play songs. And, we ended up buying this 37-foot 2001 Bluebird school bus.
Okay.
Like $6,000. We immediately had to put in a bunch because it broke down immediately. And currently now there's a couple of our team are better at building stuff. They're building out the inside. We have an artist painting the whole thing. We have an epic mural going on the side of it. And we're going to start off on the West Coast here. We live in Tahoe. We're going to go down to Levi and then up to Seattle and Vancouver and then back down to LA and see a couple USA games and a couple other random games. And the hope is that, we're just going to pop in and play tunes. If we can come up with like our kickoff parties in Tahoe, and I literally invited every musician in town. We're going to try and have like the biggest street band that Truckee, California has ever seen. And that's kind of my personal pipe dream is like, how many people can we get to join our band? Like the idea is like everybody's on the home team this time. We wear these sweatcitos. That's who gives us these velour tracksuits, but like everybody can be on the team. And this is what I want to say most. Like we have a website, Home Team String Band. It should say where we're going and everything like that. And we'll have one guy who orchestrates the song. So like if you're like a student band, like a jazz band, bring your horns, and we're gonna play a song, and everyone's gonna know it, and one guy's gonna lead it, and they're all gonna be easy. They're all gonna be like 2 or 3 chords, and like let's like we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna see if we can make a statement. When we were at Qatar. One of the most amazing things that's ever happened is we played Iran. I got this USA Iran, which is amazing. Like just to think about what's going on with USA Iran. 4 years ago in Qatar, we played each other to get out of the group stage. Winner stays, loser goes home.
Yeah, we
got on a bus with a bunch of Iranians going there. We're singing songs. They're singing songs. It got fierce to a point where I was like, this might turn bad. But then right when the bus stopped, these Iranians who were heavily boozing, they were like, hey, in this game, we're enemies, but once the game ends, we're friends, And after that, we ended up winning. Christian Pulisic scored the game-winning goal. And turns out we all were dressed up like this, and we ended up getting a spot on every news channel on earth. I mean, within 30 seconds, every single human being I've ever known in my life had texted me. They're like, we saw you on Fox. We saw you on the BBC. We saw you on Telemundo. There's pictures. I mean, I got 300 messages, and it really made me think, holy shit, like, this is why we're doing this. Like, I could tell immediately that I brought together like all my friends, they all saw us like going nuts. They were all watching the game. It was epic, And then after the game, this 2 Iranian women in burqas came up to us with their kids, and we were playing music outside. We were fired up. I had just sat in with a U.S. Air Force band playing harmonica on Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Like literally the U.S. Air Force band, huge, all these people. And I had a harmonica. I had like I can't remember, I had like a C harp, and I like held it up, and they were like, so I got up there with all these people and played, and then I got off. And then after that, we're playing songs, and these women in burqas show up, and they're like, we love the music, blah, blah, blah. And then we start playing a rendition of George Michael's Freedom for them because stuff had been going on in Iran, and they were able to, do what they wanted to do, et cetera. And they undo their headscarves and just start rocking out. And we were just like, this is it, like, so that is the hope, is that we can, with this bus, we can cruise around. Hopefully people hear about us. Hopefully we get some airtime, and people can just show up and play tunes with us. That's all we're looking for, and watch soccer matches and just like put everything aside. And I mean, there's going to be billions of people watching the World Cup, even though everyone's talking smack about it and talking down upon it. And the news is saying how bad it's going to be. It's going to be epic. Well, I always say that all the trash of the host nation comes out before the World Cup, and it should. Like, you're on display. So hopefully we can be a little bit of positive on that.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, let's go. That's the rundown.
So when you go to Russia and you end up being the train band on the Trans-Siberian Express, like, do you guys have a budget? Are you just winging it? Like, do you just you're not busking you're not a trust funders. You're not busking. You're just kind of like seeing what doors open.
Yep. I've traveled to like 100 countries or so. So I've traveled like on a shoestring most of my life. And these days I do a lot of traveling with work, so that gets paid for. But I've always we just kind of get a plane ticket and like, book a couple things to make a framework. But yeah, no, we busk, but we're not really taking money. Give us vodka or whatever to make the songs better. Yeah, we're not really, if someone gives us money, we'll take it and we'll put it in like the beer fund or the gas fund. But yeah, we're not really, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to travel cheap, especially when you're traveling with like 8 dudes. So you can just pack into a place. And this is not like, I'm rolling on 50 years old right now. So I like to do things a little nicer, but I don't mind setting it back a little bit and just going roots and seeing what comes. Cause I feel like that's when we have the most fun.
And I have to assume 7 dudes, some of you have families and kids and stuff. Does everybody's family just understand like, yeah, it's World Cup year. These guys go do their thing for 3 weeks?
That is a very difficult question. I would say everybody's different. My wife fully gets what I do. I'm kind of just a little bit of a feral guy. And I have a kid and she's fired up. She actually asked if she could come. She's 7. One of the two of the guys have kids and well, I shouldn't say that. 2 of the guys have kids that are coming with us, a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old.
Oh.
And they're joining us, which is going to be an interesting, they're going to kind of be our pledges along the way. they're gonna be flipping grilled cheeses, and we're gonna be making food. So if people come up to the bus, they can, grab like a grilled cheese or a burger or something like that. But yeah, no, I think different people have different trials and tribulations with figuring this out and working around it. I mean, we've been doing this since 2010. So the guys who have been on it forever, like, know it's coming. And the last thing you want to do is miss out, because it's really fun. And to be honest, every single one is like its own amazing beast. You never know what you're going to get. But yeah, you'd have to speak to them. I know some guys have a harder time convincing their families and then also getting the time off. Like this year, like our main meat of our trip is during the group stage, which is where all the teams are still in it. It's like the round robin. So it goes from the 11th of June to like the 26th of June. So it's like we have like a 10-day, 2-week window where we have everybody together, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do and see who's left.
And if the bus is still running.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
I mean, one of the amazing things about this, and I mean this as a compliment, is like you are a professional filmmaker, a photographer, but this isn't about like trying to feed the social media algorithm or like hamming it up for Instagram. Like it seems to me, from what I've observed in my little research, is like, this is about the moment. This isn't you trying to stage something for the gram.
It's 0% of that. I like to say that like I kind of predated Instagram. I started doing all this traveling and all this, figuring out ways to fund trips and figuring out how to do the most epically weird adventure I could possibly do before Instagram was even Instagram. I do care because I get work via Instagram, but that's not what we're going for here. We're going for like true life experience. I could give honestly 2 shits about the gram. Everyone else can post us on the gram. We have an Instagram.
Yeah.
But like I live for real life human and travel experiences. That's like what I do. That's how I've made my career, actually. A lot of my work revolves around storytelling through photos and words, but also like unique storytelling. Like people give me work because they're like, "You're really going to do that?" Sure. So yeah, I would say it's not for that at all. I mean, I don't really, I like getting for this. I want people to know what we're doing so that they come and join the band.
Sure.
I'm not looking for like, I don't care if we get 700 likes or whatever at all, like that's not, and to be honest, a lot of the guys in this crew, like, I don't even know if they have Instagram. I might be the only one that like,
Yeah.
like actually has any followers on my Instagram. So
I have to imagine as a photographer though, like you're through this band finding yourself in situations that you do want to document, or do you not? Do you just want to be in the moment?
oh, I'll document it. Like my camera will be on board. And I do. So one of the coolest things that we do after every World Cup is I've done since I started shooting photos in, the 90s, I do slideshows, like old school.
That's awesome.
Where I do slideshows and it's a live event. It happens once and I tell stories. I narrate the whole thing. I don't record it. If you don't come, you don't get to see it again. And it's a one of a kind thing. We've done it after each one. And we do usually it's like a flags of the world. Everyone can dress up as their favorite country. When you walk in, you get your face painted and then I'll start narrating it and it'll be half photo. It's like multimedia. And in the middle of it, I'll just hit pause and the band will get up. We'll just play a song to go along with it or something like that. And it's just super fun. And it's, I definitely document it. There will be stories about it coming out. But once again, it's still secondary. I struggle with it because I also want to sing songs. And if I'm behind the camera, I can't really sing a song. So, yeah, it comes and goes. It's a little bit of both. I have to maintain what I do. There has to be a story coming out of it. That's also what I like to do. So I figure out ways I pick and choose. I also sometimes you get tired, your voice gets tired or something like that. And it's a good time to take photos or shoot a little bit of video, that kind of thing.
Let's circle back to this bus.
Yeah.
You're going full Partridge Family on us. The World Cup takes place in multiple cities. You guys have kind of a preliminary plan. Where are you going to park this thing?
This is a big issue that we're having right now. We have, and I know you live up in Seattle. And if anybody's out there, hey, we want this bus to be as close to the stadium as possible any night. If anybody has any places for us, we are open ears. We have backup plans everywhere we're going. We have an RV park booked in all the places, but ultimately, if this bus isn't the thing you see when you walk into the stadium, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. I want us to be, and I'm hoping that maybe we get a little notoriety along the way. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we're going to start off in SF. After we leave here, we're going to have this big kickoff party and then going to go to SF. And we have somebody has a yard that we're going to park the bus in downtown San Francisco for the first 2 days, but then we're going to kind of have to mix and match where we're going to go. And so if people are out there, they can hit up Home Team String Band on Instagram and send us a message. They don't have any leads, but yeah, we're going to be winging it. And there's definitely going to be some unique scenario. We're going to be in some unique scenarios. I mean, but to be honest, like I said earlier, our best moments are, we got when we were in South Africa, we ended up not getting on the last bus home from this rugged little city we were in watching a game. And we ended up not knowing where to go. And some guys were you can't be on the street. We were going to just walk around and play music until the sun came up, sort of thing. This was 2010. It was a while ago. And they were and we ended up hiding out in this stairwell because we were in a dangerous neighborhood. And we ended up just playing music all night in the stairwell. And we had the time of our lives. And it's one of our funniest stories that we have, it's sketchy, but that's not to say that's what we're trying to do here. We'd love to be able to park this bus somewhere safe, and we're not going to have much in it, but we don't really want it to get broken into. And, yeah, we just kind of want to find places where we want to also find places where we have access to human beings. We don't want to be, on the outskirts of town where there's no one around. We want to be playing for people. We want to be playing with people. So once again, come play with us.
Yeah. Well, I'll include a link to, is it hometeamsoccerbus.com?
Yeah. Or hometeamstringband.com. I can, I don't know.
I think that's, yeah,
it might be.
So that's going to have all the dates. Do you guys have a repertoire or do you just wing it the whole time?
We're working on a repertoire.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, like I said, one guy is kind of in charge of navigation. Currently on the crew, we have a cajon player. We have one of my buddy's sons is a great drummer. We have a guy who plays mandolin, guitar, and bass. We have another guitar player, harmonica player, and another guitar player. So we got a lot of strings right now, and some drums. So, but yeah, we just jam tunes, and we're just the idea is we're trying to bring the world together one song at a time or one tune at a time. So
When you've done this in the past, what has been the biggest assemblage of musicians? Like, have you had like 20 people join you?
I wouldn't say that. This is different because this is the first year we're trying to like bring everybody to us. Like, because we are the home team. It is a home turf. And this is the first year we were like, okay, everyone's always welcome to play with us and we jam with people, but it's usually us playing and then like the occasional person, where this one we're outwardly trying to encourage people to play tunes with us. And then, and then Dan can just call out the chords and we can move on from there,
I see a guitar and a uke in the background. Do you know what you're bringing?
Man, I kind of like, I have this Martin travel guitar, but it's in really bad shape. So I might just I have an Eastman guitar. I might just bring it. Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's not like the nicest thing on earth. So I'll probably bring that. And then I have my little book of harmonicas. So I'll probably bring those too. I think there'll be a lot of travel guitars. I don't, no one's probably going to want to bring their really nice instruments, but we also have this bus and, and then there's also talk on whether we'd amplify or not. I think we're going to keep it street style. We thought about maybe a single mic kind of thing, but I think we're just going to keep this. Well, that's what we do best is street music. So I think we're going to kind of stick with that game plan.
I love it. I'm a little worried about you guys sitting on a school bus for thousands of miles. I don't remember those seats being very comfortable, and I was only 10 when I last rode a school bus. So,
well, those seats are all gone. I mean, we have 7 bunks in the back.
Okay,
and we have bench seating, and it's set up so that we can all sit and play music as the bus travels down the road.
That's amazing.
So we got some really nice cushions from this company called Hest. They make like mattresses for like car tents and stuff like that. So yeah, we just we should be pretty comfortable. The main thing is that the bus just keeps going down the road, and doesn't stop.
That's probably a valid concern.
It's a valid concern, and yeah, we're just trying to keep this thing moving. And then like also on the way, like anybody who's listening to this, like we're open to, places to stay. If you got having a barbecue, like we are an open canvas. Like we're going to have plans, but the hope is that we don't do any of the plans we have right now. The best case scenario would be if we did not stick to our plan and we just did a bunch of stuff that we weren't planning on doing and made the trip. So our plans are just a skeleton of kind of what we hope to do. We're down to show up and play at a brewery, a couple songs. We're also going to have TVs in our bus so we can, because that's part of it. We're going to watch 4 games a day. So we're going to have 2 TVs and we're also going to have a projection screen. So if we pull up, and we have to camp, we'll be able to project the games outside and we have a Starlink. So yeah, we're ghetto, but we're also pretty like on top of our game. We're going to, I think we're going to be able to watch games, stream games, and we're going to be like kind of like a traveling World Cup fan fest,
Are you a soccer fanatic when it's not a World, or is this like an excuse to hang out with friends, play music, party, and then you get sucked into the games?
It's a little bit of both. When it comes to the World Cup, I love it. I just think it's so cool. It's just like you look, you got like the Congo coming to town. They have like an Ebola outbreak right now. Like there's you get all this crazy stuff. You have Iran that they don't even know if they're going to be let in the country. You have all these different crazy combinations of things, and then you also, when you get to see these games, especially in America, you have people that are we're a melting pot here. So you have people from all these nations already living here. So you're going to have built-in crowds. Like when we were in Qatar, you had mostly a big Middle Eastern contingent, mostly going to those games because those are the nations that are around there. When we went to Russia, you had I met people from like Azerbaijan and Armenia and Georgia. Those are the people because they live nearby. And in Brazil, you had all the South Americans. But in America, you're going to have all these people from all over. And it just gets me fired up just to and then also we have this music component. Like hopefully if Ghana's playing somewhere, maybe we meet a bunch of Ghanaian musicians and they want to play, the hope is that hopefully it's not just us playing. I'd love it if other people are playing in front of our bus. It doesn't have to, we don't have to be the band, someone else can be the home team string band for that moment in time. So I do love soccer and I love the USA team, even though I I don't really think they're very good.
Okay.
They're good, but they really need to figure out a way to play tough. They need to put on their big boy pants and you know, like in Brazil, the team was a little bit, they weren't as good, but they were like a little bit tougher. These guys need to toughen up, and hopefully they do. But I just love it. And it happens every 4 years. So you have something to look forward to. Me and my buddy Dan, we call it the set list. Like when you have your annual calendar, what does your set list look like for the year? Do you have, if it's January, what do you got in February? What do you got in June? What do you got in November? And if you got a good set list, you have something kind of off on the horizon that you can look forward to. Like you got those set list songs that are going to make your set a banger. And it's like what will make your year a banger. And every 4 years you got the World Cup, it's on your set list, and you have something epic to look forward to. And for us, the set list is music. So it's going to be fun.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You had a GoFundMe for the bus, or you still do?
Still do. Yep.
And you raised a bunch of money, or not a bunch of money. You raised enough to keep it going.
Yep. I mean, like I said, we're not trying to make money here. We're trying to keep the gas going. We're trying to have, some cold beers and some burgers along the way, just because it is a sporting event and it's fun. And, just in case we have any mechanical issues, it's basically that. I mean, we got one of the coolest things is we put out a lot of requests for materials, and we've got someone donated all the flooring for the bus. Someone donated all the wood that we used on the ceiling of the bus. We got a couple fans for free. We got just all this different stuff like people from the community have donated us. And then one of the really cool things, last thing that I'll talk about, or we can keep talking, is that I do a lot of sports. I ski, I paddle. And I was paddling on the Truckee River a couple weeks ago. And my buddy Dan was watching my kid, because my wife had this health thing. And it was my first day back in town after dealing with all this health stuff. And I just wanted to get on the river and be by myself. And then he's like, we had a team meeting for the World Cup, and we're all going to meet in Truckee. And he's like, I can bring your daughter Lila to you. Where do you want to meet? And I was like, oh, there's this one little brewery I haven't been to in forever. Meet me there. I'm going to go grab a beer. I'm really excited just to sit back and drink a beer. And I go in there, I run into a couple guys that I know, and they're like, how's that school bus yours? And right as I was saying that, the bartenders switched out and this new guy got in. And I knew the other guy, but I didn't know this guy. And I was like, everything's going good. I was like, the one thing we're having issues with, I need to find somebody to paint this bus. And the bartender literally turns to me, he goes, I got your guy. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, did you say you wanted somebody to paint a school bus? And I was like, yeah. He's like, check out this photo. This guy just painted my RV literally a couple weeks ago. And I looked at it and I was like, no way. Can I get his number? And he gave me his number, and this guy is literally working on the bus right now. We came up with a design concept, and I gave it to this guy, and him and I have been working back and forth. And now he just drew it out. Now he's doing graffiti spray paint art. And that's how organically it was 10 seconds of conversation. And now this guy we're paying the guy to paint it, but still it's like, we were going to do a community paint job or something. We were had no idea how we were going to paint this thing. And now we have some guy professionally painting our bus, and it's really cool.
Provided you don't ditch this thing in Ashland, Oregon or something. What's the plan for the bus after the World Cup? Or you haven't even thought about that?
I mean, the fact that we're going to have it, so after we're going to probably roll it as far as the USA goes. Yeah. And then I think there's after July 1st, we don't really know what's happening because people don't know what their plans. So we'll see what happens then. But we have this bus and 10 of us put in our hard-earned work to get it going. And I think maybe we keep it in the family for a while, and people get to take little runs with their families, or maybe we rent it out to a bachelorette party or something. Who knows? But I think we live out here in Tahoe, and we have, access to everything in California, everything in Nevada. So I would say at least for a couple of years, we just pass it around and people get to use it and take it on trips. And then also my band, the Inappropriators, wait till you hear our music. It's not for everybody, by the way, but we have an album coming out. Maybe we'll use it as a tour bus and go on a week-long tour or something like that.
So cool.
So there's options. I think everybody's going to want to do something with it, even just for themselves. And then maybe we just go on camping trips and I think some people are like, well, we're going to sell it. And I was like, we're really going to make any money off it. We might as well have fun with it. I would say. I think that's the message is like, like you get one run at this life. Like don't take it too seriously. Like have fun. And like when something cool, like a lot of people have been bad mouthing the US or not the US, the World Cup. And I'm just like, man, you're going to be, once this thing starts, that's all you're going to be doing is watching the game. So like, let's ease up and let's like get on the train, get on the bus and join the team and let's have fun. Like, especially with the world right now, like this is, I think, a pretty good way of trying to like do something fun and do something productive with our time. Like even might not be productive for everybody, but it's going to be pretty cool. So
I love it. I can't wait to hear about it. I hope folks listening to this tag along and join you. Maybe you can park in front of Emerald City Guitars. It's not far from the Lumen Field in Seattle here. Congratulations. I think you gave us some takeaways. I definitely want to have a set list for my year now. You've given me that kernel of wisdom. And I can't wait to see how this all goes down.
Well, I hope you can come find us when we come up to Seattle.
I will do my best. Yeah, for sure.
And like ultimately, like bring some players. Like they don't need, like it can be your kid with a kid guitar, like whatever. Like, I mean, I was inspired in '94 when I went to a World Cup game. I saw like Mexico versus Norway. My brother worked for the World Cup in DC. I saw one game. It was inspiring. So I just think it's a cool way of, soccer is the one sport that the whole world plays. Doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody plays it. You can be from like a little village in the Amazon jungle. You can be from like a desert tribe in Africa. You can be from prep school in New York. Everybody plays soccer, at least when they're kids. So like, this is literally like, I know everybody, like US is more about football, basketball, all that stuff, but this is the sport of the world. Like it's pretty cool that the whole world actually comes together for a sport and can all get along and just like cheer for their teams and like have fun. So let's try and do that. Let's try and take a break from our lives and put everything on hold and watch a bunch of soccer matches and be jovial. Join the home team for some live music.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. Check out our site and our Instagram is Home Team String Band, and we have a GoFundMe if you want to kick in. Even if you want to kick down $5 for gas, we'll take it. Like we're not asking for $1,000 donations. You can kick down $1 if you want. So there's a QR code.
All right, that was Ryan Salm. How else can we describe him? A bundle of positive energy. I absolutely love that chat. Some life hacks in there too that I will incorporate. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts. Please share this episode with your friends. And who knows, maybe I'll see you in some parking lot near the Hometown String Band bus this summer. Stay tuned.